Lil Kenny basically described in detail what the hell happened with the freaking murder of Big Jook. I don't think that if you saw Big Jook's murder that some bullshit won't happen. The man was too powerful. Everybody who talks about Yo Gotti, they never talk about how integral freaking Big Jook was. He was the ear to the music, the ear to the...
Young Dolph's alleged main shooter was arrested just the other day and is now reportedly being charged in connection with the murder of Big Jook, the brother of Yo Gotti. Behind the flashy image of the Memphis rap scene, Lil Kenny was allegedly moving reckless in the streets, sketching bodies and self-snitching in his own music, a pattern that would eventually lead to his downfall. The truth behind what finally brought him down is way darker than most people expected, and we're about to break all of it down. Yo, what's good, fam? We're diving straight into some real street drama that's been rocking the hip-hop community and has Memphis buzzing right now. Before we get too deep, let me keep it all the way real with y'all. Social media has been going crazy, saying Lil Kenny got pulled out the bushes by the Drug Enforcement Administration. But today we're separating facts from rumors, what's real versus what's straight internet fiction. Now hold up, don't get it twisted thinking this was just a random stop that went left. The streets have been whispering for months that Kenny allegedly had Big Jook's blood on his hands. And here's where things get real wild. This man was basically telling on himself in his own songs. Check this out. The viral footage shows Kenny getting dragged out of the bushes like it's Groundhog Day for real. You hear someone in the background yelling for him to come back, warning he's about to get bit, as law enforcement pulls him straight out of his hiding spot. Great scene, man.
Everybody pregnant. Oh shit, everybody come, they can't do none of this. Shit, we chillin'. They can't do nothing on me. Hell no.
Out in the streets, everybody knows getting chased by the feds is no joke. But Kenny's situation was different, because for months the word on the street was that he was the alleged trigger man behind Big Jook's assassination. Dude was only about 5'3", barely 120 pounds soaking wet. But people say when it came to putting in work, he moved like he had the heart of a lion. According to booking records, Kenneth Mason, better known as B.O. Lil Kenny, was hit with multiple charges. We're talking intentionally evading arrest in a vehicle, evading arrest on foot, reckless driving, illegal window tint, and possession of a controlled substance. But let's be real, this story goes way deeper than just traffic violations. Here's the wild part. Kenny was way too comfortable hiding out in those bushes. He even took to Facebook afterward, posting, "I was comfortable as hell in them bushes. They had to drag me out. We was gonna be there till timber, waiting on me to surrender." That man really thought he could wait it out until the coast was clear, but law enforcement had other plans. And this is where things get even crazier. Kenny has been telling on himself harder than a little kid caught stealing cookies.
5 police sources have confirmed with Fox 13 that the person killed is Anthony Mims, also known as Big Jook. Now, Big Jook is the brother of rapper Yo Gotti.
After Big Jook was murdered outside that restaurant, right in front of his own mother, Kenny dropped a song that instantly had the streets talking. In front of his mama, they dropped his brother. "We come to get you like bounty hunters." Real talk, those were some wild, incriminating bars. He didn't say they, he said we. That one word alone made it sound like he was placing himself right at the scene. What really shook people was how detailed he got. Big Jook was actually killed in front of his mother after attending a funeral, and Kenny was rapping about it like he was giving the police a play-by-play. In the hood, that's called self-snitching, and it's the fastest way to catch a case. Anyone who knows the culture understands this. When you drop a diss track right after a murder and include details only the shooter would know, you might as well turn yourself in. Kenny was moving like he just hit the lottery, bragging about we, not they, making it clear his crew was allegedly responsible. But here's the twist. Later on, he tried to walk it back. He jumped on Facebook saying, "I'ma let it be known. I never thought I'd have to. Stop putting these BS allegations on ***A. I'm a pretty good guy, and I don't want clout for something I ain't got nothing to do with. Too little, too late. The damage was already done." Now let's rewind and talk about how this whole bloody situation even started. The beef between Yo Gotti and Young Dolph was never just rap. This was deep-rooted street politics going back more than a decade. It really kicked off in 2010 during Thanksgiving weekend, after a shooting outside Level 2 nightclub. Yo Gotti and OG Boo Dirty, who was connected to Dolph's side, got into it and 6 people ended up shot. This wasn't Twitter fingers. This was bullets flying in parking lots. One of the names arrested alongside Gotti back then was Corey McClendon, the same Corey McClendon who would later be charged in Young Dolph's attempted murder in Hollywood in 2017. That alone Shows you how deep this beef runs. Same players, same war, years later. Things got even crazier in 2012 when young Dolph was sitting right next to Gucci Mane as Gucci publicly announced his beef with Yo Gotti. Gucci felt Gotti was trying to ride his wave by dropping a mixtape the same day as Gucci's official release. Dolph witnessed that moment firsthand, and that alliance would turn deadly years down the line. Over time, the beef escalated with multiple attempts on Dolph's life. In 2017, his car was hit with over 100 shots in Charlotte. Federal investigators later connected that shooting back to Yo Gotti's camp, again pointing to Corey McClendon. At that point, this wasn't rap beef anymore. This was a full-scale street war. And here's the real kicker. Young Dolph's murder in November 2021 wasn't seen by many as a random hit. The streets have been talking, and word is that Big Jook allegedly had a serious bag placed on Dolph's head. We're talking about Yo Gotti's brother. He was the ear to the streets and the muscle behind the collective music group Empire. And at this point, it wasn't just rap beef anymore. This was about power, territory, and respect in Memphis. Big Jook wasn't just Yo Gotti's brother. He was the enforcer, the one handling the street side while Gotti focused on the music business. Young Dolph continued disrespecting the family name and threatening what they built. Big Jook allegedly made a call that would eventually cost him his own life. For those who don't understand street politics, here's how it works. When you put a bag on someone's head, you're also putting one on your own, especially if that person has loyal soldiers willing to slide. Dolph had real ones around him, and they weren't about to let his murder go unanswered. Word of Big Jook's alleged involvement hit the streets long before law enforcement caught on. In Memphis, information moves fast, and when you're tied to the death of a beloved figure like young Dolph, retaliation isn't a question. It's a guarantee. Big Jook knew the risks, but pride and loyalty to his brother pushed him to make a move that sealed his fate. During the trial of Dolph's alleged killers, it was revealed that Big Jook had been making calls and coordinating movements on the day of the murder. Prosecutors painted him as the brains behind the operation, which instantly made him target number one in the streets. January 13, 2024, that's when the past finally caught up with him. Big Jook was leaving Pyron's restaurant and event center on Winchester near Kirby when the shooters caught him slipping. He was in his own city, likely feeling comfortable until death came calling.
Shooting in Hickory Hill with connections to Memphis rapper Yo Gotti.
But here's the most disrespectful part of it all. They killed him right in front of his own mother. In street code, that's the ultimate violation. Family is supposed to be off limits, especially mothers. But when it comes to revenge tied to young Dolph's murder, the rules go out the window. The shooting went down around 4:15 p.m., broad daylight. No masks, no hiding. This wasn't a hit meant to be quiet. This was a message. The shooters wanted the city to see that Big Jook's status and protection couldn't shield him from the consequences of his past actions. Two men were hit in the attack. Big Jook was pronounced dead at the scene, while another man was rushed by helicopter to Regional 1 Health in critical condition.
Right now, we do have video that we're analyzing, but we don't have a clear suspect identified at this time. But we know that a weapon was used, a firearm was used in this incident. We do feel like the individual that was shot was possibly targeted by the suspect.
Memphis Police Department confirmed they had video footage and believed Big Jook was the intended target. This wasn't a random robbery or a case of mistaken identity. This was calculated, planned, and carried out with precision, the kind of hit meant to send a message to everybody paying attention. What made it even colder was the timing. Big Jook had just left a repast, a celebration of life following a funeral. He stepped outside for a smoke and never made it back in. His mother was still inside the venue when she heard the gunshots that ended her son's life. What really had the streets shook was how people already knew about Big Jook's alleged role in young Dolph's murder long before anything became public. Word had been circulating that he put the bag on Dolph's head, and that alone made him a marked man. In the hood, information moves faster than police work ever could. The same street networks that helped orchestrate Dolph's killing were the same ones that exposed Big Jook's involvement. Street justice doesn't wait on indictments or court dates. And according to the word on the street, B.O. Lil Kenny and his young crew had been waiting patiently for the right moment to strike. They knew Big Jook was the real power behind Yo Gotti's operation, and taking him out was seen as the ultimate revenge for their fallen leader.
Lil Kenny basically described in detail what the hell happened with the freaking murder of Big Jook. I don't think that if you saw Big Jook's murder that some bullshit won't happen. The man was too powerful. Everybody who talks about Yo Gotti, they never talk about how integral freaking Big Jook was. He was the ear to the music, the ear to the streets.
The crazy part is how Kenny's own lyrics basically confirmed what the streets already knew. When he rapped about coming to get someone like bounty hunters and doing it in front of his mama, he was dropping details only someone close to the situation would know. That wasn't coincidence. That was self-snitching in real time. And here's where the story gets even wilder. If Big Jook were still alive today, there's a strong chance he'd be sitting in a federal cell facing murder charges tied to Young Dolph's death. During the trial of the alleged shooters, it came out that Big Jook had already been questioned by police about his involvement. The man was living on borrowed time. Federal investigators reportedly had phone records showing Big Jook was in constant communication with the shooters on the day Dolph was killed. If he hadn't been murdered himself, prosecutors likely would have built a case strong enough to put him away for life. That's the harsh reality of street life. Sometimes dying saves you from spending the rest of your life in prison. As wild as it sounds, Big Jook's death may have been a mercy compared to what the legal system had waiting. Now let's talk about BEO Lil Kenny and what's next for him. He was arrested on what looked like minor charges: evading arrest, reckless driving, possession. His bond was set at just $10,000, which he likely already posted. But don't let that fool you. This could just be the opening move. Kenny reportedly spent an extra 8 hours in interrogation, mainly because of all the rumors and allegations swirling online. He even said the internet is a dangerous drug, and he wasn't wrong. His own social media posts, lyrics, and videos gave law enforcement plenty of material to work with. That's how the feds move. They start small and build big. They'll grab you on a minor charge while quietly stacking evidence on a major case in the background. And Kenny's self-snitching tracks may have handed them exactly what they needed to. Connect him to Big Jook's murder at the end of the day. This isn't just about revenge or street justice. It's about consequences. Young Dolph was killed, so Big Jook became a target. Big Jook died, and now Kenny may be next to face the system. This cycle of violence in Memphis has taken too many lives and destroyed too many families. Yo Gotti lost his brother. Dolph's family lost a son, a father, a legend. And now Kenny's family could lose him to the prison system. The real question is, when does it end? How many more bodies have to drop before people realize this road only leads to death or a cell? Kenny might think he got away with it, but the streets are watching, and so are the feds. What do you think about BEO Lil Kenny's situation? Do you believe he'll beat these charges? Or is this just the beginning of something much bigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more breaking stories from the Memphis rap scene.